All right, so let's look at our color theory page here. So first, I have set up a basic, just the primary colors, color wheel right here. Um, I did use a straight edge, but I didn't measure things out. You could definitely see the shapes here are not perfect. I did this whole color theory page using only these three primary colored pencils. Okay, so this is explaining what you guys have to do. So first we have just the primary colors divided just into these three sections. The shapes that you choose to do is up to you. So long as we have the same amount of colors and we use the whole space, it doesn't matter to me if you make them circles or if these are separate circles or squares. The page can look how you want so long as we fill the whole space and we have all these color tests. So this is the easiest one. Now we move over here, I'm starting to mix my secondary colors. So you might be able to see that I have made green, and this is just by lightly shading blue on top of my yellow. All right, now again, we want to just use the side, not the point of the pencil. And you want to just do some very light strokes at little circles and try to keep it nice and even. We don't really want to see too much of the pencil stroke. I'm going to show you as I move over here to make my orange. All right, so I have my yellow, my blue, my red. I've made the purple here. I've made the green, and now I'm going to start to make orange. Now, I had mentioned it before, but yellow is the weakest of the pigments in paint or in pencil. So that means you want to brush really lightly with the red to start making that orange. And I'm just going to slowly build my color up. All right, it's not going to be a race. I'm just making little circles and I'm going to slowly build. You're going to start to see it's going to start to turn orange. If you press too hard, all you're going to see is red lines on top of yellow lines. It's not going to technically look orange. Okay, so I'm just going to slowly build this up. Now, as I want to apply a little more pressure, I'm just going to slide my hand further down. Now, I might have to go back on top of this later on with more yellow. We'll see. But that we decide as we move further along. So I am making my orange right now. This is exactly how you're going to have to do this. Little circles using the side of the pencil. This relates directly to working with watercolor. If this were watercolor, you would have put a light yellow wash down and then applied a red wash on top and you would have made orange. It's the same thing. In fact, the more I work with colored pencil, the more I see that it works almost the same as paint. I use it the same way too. Light layers on top of light layers to slowly build my color up to make it more complex. So you can see I'm starting to get an orange there. This is definitely something that we have to take our time in doing. I rotate my paper. And I'm starting to get my orange. You've defined your terms for color theory, so you'll know, primary, secondary, analogous, warm, cool, neutral, and I'll go over that in class again too. We're going to make some neutrals and we're going to neutralize some colors right now. I'm going to come back and revisit this. You can see it's becoming orange, but I don't want to spend the whole video just doing that. I'm going to come back and work on that, okay? I want to move up here. So these are going to be me neutralizing a color. So I have done 3 boxes of blue. Darkest, medium, lightest. Okay. Now I did these little letters up here. It's a uppercase O for orange, a lowercase b for blue. 2 uppercase for blue and orange, an uppercase B and a lowercase. Now what that means is here in this box I'm going to have more orange than blue. In this box I'm going to have equal parts orange and blue. And in this box I'm going to have more blue than orange. Okay, so that means I have to put some orange into these boxes. Orange is the opposite of blue. So here we have they complement each other. So if you mix blue and orange together, you're going to get a neutral color. So I'm going to neutralize some of these colors here. So I'm going to start off with the darker one. I'm just going to put a light coat of orange. So in order for me to do that with the colored pencils I have, that means first I have to put a light coat of red. I want to try to do it evenly, and I want to make sure that it's not too dark because we're just changing this blue a little bit. It's just a little bit of orange on top of it. We're just going to neutralize it. So I'm adding some red, and then this will start to look purple. I want to make sure I get all the corners. And remember, we're just changing this slightly, so it should still look predominantly blue. That's why it's the uppercase when we do this, okay? That's how you know. We're going to do the same thing with red, and we're going to do the same thing with yellow. These are color scales. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my yellow to make it orange. And what's that? That's going to actually start to gray out my blue. It's neutralizing it. It's taking some of the power away from the primary color, softening it. In the middle, ideally, this one should look gray. So if you have half orange and half blue, it should look gray. All right, let's move to the middle. I'm going to start, now this should be equal parts, so I could press a little bit harder, but I don't want to rush. I want to slowly build. I might have to go back over it with more blue later. Chances are I'm going to go back over my color wheel completely. Okay, once I've got my red in there, it should start to look like a purple. And then I'm just going to add my yellow to it. Now, if you could learn to do this with just the 3 primary colors, when you get your hands on a full color pencil set, all of this becomes much easier. I like to rotate my paper, make sure I'm getting it nice and even the whole way through. Okay, now I'm going to go into my yellow. Once I have the yellow in there, this should start to look gray. Now I might have to determine if it looks too much red, then I might have to go more yellow. If it looks too blue, then I might have to go more red and more yellow. The whole idea is to get it to be its own color, to be a neutral. It should look gray. That's how you get into things like warm grays and cool grays. A warm gray would have a little bit more red or a little more orange than blue. A cool gray would have a little bit more blue than orange. Okay, flip this back around. This is definitely starting to look gray. Now in the last box, it's got to be more orange than blue. All right, so I'm going to start with the yellow. Should have kept going, and then I'm going to add my red. Remember, yellow is weaker than blue and red. I would say blue is probably the most powerful, red being a close second, and then yellow lagging behind. So you're going to probably have to do a couple extra coats of yellow to even things out. You'll notice right away the box starts to look green. And then I'm going to add my red on top of it, and it's going to change my, oh, it's going to change my green. It's going to start to neutralize it. So this would be as if you added just a little bit of blue to your orange. When I'm painting, I do this all the time. I tell my painting students all the time, and you guys are going to learn this, we don't ever want to use paint usually directly from the tube. We want to always enrich our colors by adding other colors to it. Those are mixing tubes. They're meant to be mixed. So when I make a sky, I don't just use blue from the tube to make my sky. I usually add a little bit of orange to it. Okay, so that's me working on my color scales. I'm going to stop this video for now, and then I'm going to make another video where I'm completing it.